Could you park the car for me?
I'll take care of it.
Thank you.
Mr. and Mrs. Friedman, I'm Joan, and I'll be your nurse tonight.
I'm sorry. My wife is the jealous type. Truthfully, Orthodox Jewish men and women don't have casual physical contact with members of the opposite sex. Thank you for your understanding.
No problem. So how are we doing, Mrs. Friedman?
Her water's broken and she's had some spotting.
It's gonna be a long night.
Mr. Friedman, why don't you give your wife a back rub? It'll make her feel better.
I would be very grateful if you could help her with that instead of me.
I'll show you how. You won't break her.
I thought I saw some blood.
It's okay. Just a little blood.
Rachel is unclean.
Oh, no. She's just sweaty. Here, do it like this. Through the sheets.
It is inappropriate for me to touch my wife during this time.
During labor?
If there is any blood. It is an Orthodox Jewish tradition.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Also, would it be okay, if you don't mind, my wife would feel more comfortable with females attending to her.
You mean me?
I'm sorry.
Hey, it's okay. I have other patients.
We don't mean to offend.
It's okay. He's happy to get out of the work. May, could I see that admittance form, please?
Here.
Thanks. Okay. I just wanted to check Mr. Friedman, and it does say Orthodox Jewish on the form.
Thank you.
Mr. Friedman, you and your wife forgot to sign the admittance form.
May we sign it afterwards?
After the birth?
The Sabbath.
I guess that should be okay.
Sameach avdaka ki ata Adonai nefeshi yaseh.
5654. Tasha Chambers, 5654. Thank you.
My wife is uncomfortable lying down. Could you please come raise the bed up for her?
Mr. Friedman, you don't need to keep coming out here. Your wife can use the call button.
We can't operate that.
Oh, isn't it working?
I'm not sure. Actually, I'm terrible when it comes to operating electronic contraptions. My VCR still says 12. Seriously, though, unless it's an emergency, we don't use electronic gadgets during the Sabbath.
Okay, come on.
Yelcha Adonai b'yom tzara yaseh v'cha Hashem Elohei Yaakov.
It's time, Mrs. Friedman.
It's time for your baby. I understand someone is ready to have a baby.
Hello, Dr. Kelly.
Hello, Mr. Friedman. Rachel, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Come on, Mr. Friedman.
You don't want to miss this.
You know, I don't feel so good. I think I'd prefer to wait in the waiting room.
That's what you want, but the waiting room's right next to delivery. Come on. Wait. Keep up, Mr. Friedman. We're almost there. Delivery's on the 5th floor. We'll see you there. Deep breath. Oh! No.
Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Friedman. It's a boy.
Mazel tov. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hatov v'yamativ.
I understand there's a problem with the food. I'm sorry, there must have been a mix-up.
I'm sorry too. I mean, this looks about as tasty as hospital food can look. But we are observant Jews and we can only eat kosher food.
I apologize.
It's not your fault. And if it isn't too much trouble, could we have paper plates and plastic utensils? The juice is fine.
Paper, plastic, and kosher food. Got it.
And could we have 2 meals, please? It's been an awfully long night and I'm quite hungry.
Only the patients are allowed food. But I'll see what I can do. Mr. Friedman, I have tried to be as accommodating as I can.
I know that, nurse, and we thank you very much.
Look, there's a cafeteria on the 6th floor. Just get off the elevator and make a right. Oh, sorry. I forgot. You can take the stairs again.
It doesn't matter. My wife didn't give me any money anyhow.
I'll give you some money.
That's awfully kind of you, nurse, but this being my Sabbath, I cannot handle any money.
Mr. Friedman, I didn't realize that the Orthodox Jewish notation on your form meant you had so many restrictions. Look, why don't you go home and eat and get some rest? It's been a long night. Your wife and son are doing just fine.
I cannot drive.
You drove here.
That was different. There are special circumstances allowed in emergency situations.
I got it. Follow me. Here, call a friend to come and get you.
I can't use the phone.
I can. What's the number?
It won't do any good.
What's the number?
It won't do any good. No one will answer. They can't use the phone either.
Don't you know anyone who isn't observing the Sabbath?
My wife and I do have a Gentile neighbor who helps us out from time to time, but he's out of town this weekend. Nurse, allow me to explain. I know that this is different from what you're used to, but we are not able to use the phone, drive, or use any electrical appliances or lights during the Sabbath, unless it's an emergency.
Mr. Friedman, when is the Sabbath over?
When the first 3 stars are visible at nightfall.
Mr. Friedman, I admire your conviction and your discipline, but how can you follow these rules in today's world?
Nurse, God rested on the 7th day. If God's work can be set aside for one day, then surely my work is not so important that I couldn't set it aside for one day as well.
I'll see what I can do about getting you some kosher food on a paper plate.
Nurse, that would be a mitzvah. Adonai roi lo exar, benion teshe yerbet seni, almei minuchot inahaleni. Nefeshi shovev yanicheni bimagle zedek lama'an shemo, gam ki elech begez lemavet, lo ira raki, atai madish